Right, so today we're going to look at a guy who kind of seems to be everywhere all at once, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos, he's up in space 1 minute, then he's back here on Earth building this massive company like Amazon. I mean, seriously, does anyone have more cardboard boxes than this guy?
Well, he does have a rather interesting story. I'll give him that.
Right, like I was looking at all the stuff he sent over. It's almost a whole script about his life.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of information, isn't it?
Totally. So that's what we're going to do today. Just dive into all that, unpack it.
Go beyond the headlines.
Yeah, exactly. Pull out the really interesting stuff, the things that make you think, huh, never knew that about the guy.
I think that's a great approach. There are definitely some hidden gems in there waiting to be discovered.
Okay, so Jeff Bezos, it all starts back in 1964, January 12th to be precise. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
Pretty average beginning, right?
Yeah, sounds like it so far.
Well, buckle up because here comes the twist.
Mhm.
His mom, Jacqueline, she was just a teenager when she had him. And get this, his biological dad, a guy named Ted Jorgensen, what did he do for a living?
I don't know. What's the twist?
He was a unicycling circus performer.
A unicycling? What? That's not what I was expecting.
I know, right? You think of like a tech mogul. You don't exactly picture a circus performer in the family tree.
It really makes you think about the whole nature versus nurture thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like how much of who we become is predetermined and how much is shaped by our experiences.
Totally. And it makes that whole Amazon thing even more interesting. All that structure, those systems he built up. It's like a whole different world from the kind of freewheeling life of a circus performer.
It's a fascinating contrast, that's for sure.
So we've got this unconventional beginning, and then comes another twist in the story. His mom, she remarries a Cuban immigrant named Miguel Bezos.
Okay.
And Miguel, he adopts Jeff. So that's how he gets the last name we all know.
Ah, so that's the connection.
Right, a total turning point.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder about the influence Miguel had, the values he might have instilled in a young Jeff.
Definitely. Family dynamics can have a profound impact on how we see the world, even if it's not our biological family.
Absolutely. And even from a young age, there were signs that Jeff was a little different.
How so?
Well, apparently the story goes that one day his parents found him taking apart his crib with a screwdriver.
No way. Seriously.
It's seriously. Not your average toddler activity, right? Most kids are just happy to take a nap in there.
I'm sure his parents were thrilled.
I bet. But you have to admit, it shows a certain curiosity, a desire to understand how things work.
Yeah, I guess so. It's that classic tinkerer's mindset, isn't it? Taking things apart to see what's inside, how it all fits together.
Exactly. And that inquisitiveness, it stays with him. Fast forward to high school, and he's graduating as valedictorian.
Okay, so the brains were there from the start.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. He wasn't just focused on getting good grades. He already had these huge ambitions.
What kind of ambition?
We're talking space travel, space hotels. That was his vision even back then.
Wow. Most high schoolers are just worried about prom dates and getting their driver's license.
I know, right? But not Jeff Bezos. He was thinking even decades ahead.
You have to admire that kind of long-term thinking. It's like he had this roadmap in his mind leading all the way to the stars.
And he follows that roadmap straight to Princeton graduates summa cum laude in electrical engineering and computer science.
So he was a top student at a top university. Impressive.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be set for a nice, comfy career in some tech company, right?
That would be the logical path, wouldn't it?
You'd think. So he dips his toes into that world for a bit, works on Wall Street, even lands a job at a hedge fund called D.E. Shaw.
A hedge fund.
Yeah.
That's high-stakes finance. Big
Yeah.
money, fast decisions.
Exactly. And he's doing well, but then comes 1994 and everything changes.
What happened in 1994?
The internet, it was exploding, growing like crazy. He sees a statistic that just blows his mind. The internet is growing at 2,300% per year.
2,300%. That's insane.
I know, right? It was like a tidal wave, and most people were just standing on the shore watching it roll in.
But not Jeff Bezos.
Nope. He saw the opportunity, and he jumped in head first.
So what did he do?
He quits his job, packs up his car, and with his wife, Mackenzie, they drive across the country.
Where were they headed?
A garage in Seattle. That's where Amazon was born.
Wow, from Wall Street to a garage. That's quite a change of scenery.
Right. From suits and ties to jeans and T-shirts, it was a total leap of faith.
I can't even imagine leaving a secure job like that to start a company in my garage. It takes a certain kind of personality to do something like that.
Definitely. And you know what they were selling at first?
What was it?
Books.
Books, really?
Yeah, just books. It seems so simple now, right?
It does.
Uh-huh.
Especially with Amazon selling pretty much everything these days.
Right. But back then, it was a genius move.
Yeah.
The book market was huge, but it was also kind of messy and disorganized.
So Amazon came in and streamlined the whole thing. Made it easier for people to find and buy the books they wanted.
Exactly. And they almost called it something completely different. You ready for this?
Hit me.
Cadabra?
Cadabra. Like abracadabra.
Yeah, but their lawyer pointed out it sounded too much like cadaver.
Oh no, not good for business.
Not at all. Can you imagine? Welcome to cadaver.com, your one-stop shop for, everything.
Yeah, that's not exactly a catchy slogan.
So they went with Amazon. The name had a certain exotic ring to it, and more importantly, it started with an A.
So they'd be at the top of any alphabetical list.
Exactly. Smart thinking, right?
Very strategic.
And from books, they just kept expanding CDs, electronics, toys, clothes, you name it. It was like Jeff Bezos had this vision of creating a store that sold literally everything.
The everything store.
Exactly. And along the way, there were some bumps in the road, controversies, criticisms, things like that.
I mean, it can't all be smooth sailing when you're building an empire like that, can it?
Definitely. There were questions about working conditions at their warehouses, Amazon's tax practices, and of course the whole issue of whether they were becoming too big, too powerful.
I mean, it's a valid concern, right?
Yeah.
When a company gets that big, it can start to have a huge influence on the market, on the economy even.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a debate that's still going on today. And then there's the personal side of things.
What do you mean?
Well, after 25 years of marriage, Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos, they divorced.
Oh, wow.
It was a huge deal, not just because they were a high-profile couple, but because of what it meant for Amazon.
How so?
Mackenzie, she walked away with a significant portion of Jeff's Amazon stock, making her one of the wealthiest women in the world.
I guess that's what happens when you split up with the founder of Amazon.
Yeah, it was a massive financial event.
Yeah.
And since then, Jeff's life has become even more, well, let's just say high profile.
I think I know what you mean. Private jets, luxury yachts, even a girlfriend who's a former TV news anchor.
It's a whole different world from that garage in Seattle.
Definitely. The perks of being one of the richest people on the planet, I suppose.
And through it all, he never let go of that childhood dream of space travel.
All right, Blue Origin. That's
Yeah.
a space exploration company.
Exactly. He founded it back in 2000, and they've been steadily developing rockets and spacecraft ever since.
It's not just a hobby for him, is it?
Oh no, it's a serious endeavor. He believes that space travel should be accessible to everyone, not just astronauts.
Just pretty bold vision.
Totally. And he put his money where his mouth is. In 2021, he actually went to space himself.
Wow, he blasted off in his own rocket.
Yeah, the New Shepard. It was a short trip just over the Kármán line, the boundary of space, but still pretty amazing.
Did he wear a suit and tie for the occasion?
Not exactly. He went with a more casual look jeans, a blue flight suit, and you guessed it, a cowboy hat.
A cowboy hat. Of course, why not?
Only Jeff Bezos could pull that off. And when he got back to Earth, he made a comment that really stuck with me.
What did he say?
He thanked all the Amazon customers because they're the ones who paid for his trip to space.
He did. He just came right out and said it.
Yeah, he even joked that every Amazon Prime order helped fund a rivet or two on his rocket.
That's classic Bezos, blunt and to the point.
It's kind of refreshing, isn't it? He's not afraid to acknowledge the connection between his business success and his personal passions.
Yeah, he's definitely not shy about it.
So now he's stepped down as CEO of Amazon, but he's still the chairman, so he's still calling the shots in a lot of ways.
And Blue Origin seems to be taking up more and more of his time.
Definitely. He's pouring resources into it, pushing the boundaries of space exploration.
It's like he's got this whole second act going on, right? Building rockets, going to space, who knows what's next.
Exactly. And on top of all that, he's also become a major philanthropist.
Oh, yeah. He's giving away billions of dollars to various causes.
Right. He's got the Bezos Day One Fund, which focuses on homelessness and early childhood education. And then there's the Bezos Earth Fund, which is all about fighting climate change.
It's like he's trying to tackle some of the biggest challenges facing humanity.
It's pretty ambitious stuff. And let's not forget, he also owns the Washington Post.
The Washington Post, seriously.
Yeah, he bought it back in 2013. I guess when you're a multi-billionaire with a passion for space travel, why not add a major newspaper to your portfolio?
I mean, it's definitely a power move. Owning a publication like that gives you a lot of influence.
No doubt. So we've covered a lot of ground here. What's the biggest takeaway for you when you look at Jeff Bezos' life?
I think for me, it's the sheer audacity of it all. Like, he never let go of his dreams, no matter how out there they seemed.
And he was willing to take risks to make those dreams a reality? I mean, quitting a stable job to start an online bookstore in your garage, that's not something most people would do.
Exactly. He bet on himself, on his vision, and it paid off big time.
And he's not done yet. Who knows what he'll come up with next? Will he build those space hotels he was dreaming about back in high school? Will he become the world's first trillionaire?
Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Absolutely. So what do you think? Is Jeff Bezos a genius, a madman, or maybe a little bit of both?
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he's a complex figure with a lot of different sides to him. He's achieved incredible things, but he's also made some controversial choices.
That's a good way to put it. He's definitely not boring.
Not at all. And that's what makes his story so fascinating.
Well, that's our deep dive into the life and times of Jeff Bezos. Hope you enjoyed it.
I did. It was quite a journey.
So we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Jeff Bezos? Let us know on social media.
And be sure to join us next time for another deep dive into the world of innovation and the people who are shaping the future.
Until then, keep dreaming big and maybe check your Amazon cart just in case you've accidentally pre-ordered a ticket to Mars. This has been The Deep Dive.
See you next time.